whatever accomplishes the user experience for that user is really acceptable.
Who are you?
So who are you, and why are you on Channel 9?
Well, actually, I'm watching Ray Ozzie here. Come on over here.
So service-based.
I'm watching Ray Ozzie on the intranet here, but since we're here to talk about Channel 9, actually, not our intranet, but it all fits in together because we'll be interviewing Ray in a little while.
So what I'm interested in is, how do you make one of these videos? What's the process that goes into, scheduling?
Lots of Starbucks.
Do you go out?
We do low-tech. Actually, I have a SharePoint site and a low-tech. The low-tech I find works great because I can just look at it at a glance without, getting my attention away from the computer screen or whatever I'm working on. And I can also see what state things are in, whether they've been, encoded, whether they've been streamed, pushed up to the servers, or are ready to, go onto the Channel 9 or whatnot.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but Microsoft does sell some cool software that helps you schedule some of this stuff. You don't need a whiteboard.
I'm using it in SharePoint, so I have it all in SharePoint as well.
Oh,
so
I see.
Actually get to it when I'm going home or whatnot. Or like next week, I'll be working in the Silicon Valley office, and I like to be able to share it. But there is an advantage of having it visually
Like
available.
brainstorming, just kind of kicking back and seeing the big picture and quickly
Absolutely.
changing it,
And
having
people
someone walk in.
Yeah. People walk in my office all the time and say, "Hey, who are you shooting next?" I can go, "Oh, it's Jen Lambs today."
So when you want to create a new video, is it usually you going to a team saying, "Hey, I want to record you," or they come to, "Hey, I got something cool to show you"? Is it a combination?
It's both. I do a lot. What you don't see, because I do about a video a day. Last month we did 50 videos, so more than 2 a day actually it was the average, although it was all in like a week and a half period. But most of my day is spent on email or going around and meeting guys like you and finding out what's going on in the company.
How many people actually record?
And then when I find out, I say, "Hey, you want to come and show me that on Channel 9?" That kind of thing.
How many people actually get behind the camera on Channel 9?
There's me, there's you.
Ken Levy, yeah. Me.
Charles Torre does some.
And sometimes he's with you.
Jeff sometimes does some. But I would say 85% are mine.
Yeah.
And the rest are split up between the 2 or 3 other people. Mike Hall does some once in a while as well.
So when you schedule one, do you send them what questions you're going to ask in advance? Is it scripted?
Nope.
You just show up with the camera, kind of like I did here, and just say, "Hey."
Absolutely. It's about having a conversation. It's not about having a presentation. I mean, come on over here and look at...
I mean, they know about the interview in advance, but they don't know.
This is a presentation, right? What Ray is doing, Ray's in us on stage in San Francisco right now, right? And if we unmute him, you can listen to him talk about our new services engine, right? But that's a presentation.
It's scripted, right?
It's one way.
Right.
It's scripted. It has PowerPoint.
Right. You don't see a PowerPoint on Channel 9 too much.
And it's one stream of consciousness, and it's marketing, right? It's going to be, Ray is going to say, "This is rah rah rah. This is great stuff,"
right?
And he won't talk to you about what's good or bad about it, And I actually ask, I try to probe in and try to feel where the edges of a new technology are, so people at home can get a sense of, oh, it'll do this, but it won't do this.
And a lot of times you're going in kind of having an idea of what you're going to see, but you let them drive what it is they want. Like, what are you going to show us today versus show me this, show me that.
Right.
Unless it's interactive, you might get an idea.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even know what they're going to show. I have no clue. This morning I interviewed Jenny Lamb, and she does the graphics for both what you see on screen. Her team does, and she does too. But she designed some of the graphics at the PDC that you saw up on stage. So she's a graphic designer who works in many mediums, and I had no clue what we were going to talk about. I knew it was roughly going to be around design, methodologies or around her work, and I wanted to find out about that, but I didn't know what we were.
So there's a team, a Channel 9 team, and how does the team go about deciding what to do, or is it pretty much whatever people might find interesting?
We try to keep it as decentralized as possible because, what I find interesting won't be what Charles finds interesting, right? And what Charles finds interesting is not necessarily what I'm going to find interesting. he's a developer, and I'm more of a user, an end user kind of person. So we come at the world completely different way, and he gets much more technical, interviews. And a lot of times I'll just go and shoot the camera, like with when we went in and interviewed Anders Halsberg, who was one of the guys who invented C#. He asked most of the questions because he understood the technology a lot better than I did. I mean, I can ask high-level questions, but I can't really ask, why is this API there? Why is it named that?
For a developer audience that's working
or
with it.
how good is it? Can this really scale out to,
So today's like November 1st, 2005. Is there some kind of roadmap for Channel 9? Like, do we expect it to look identical in a year, a little different? Like what's your...
No, every once in a while, there's two designers on it, right? There's Adam Kinney right now and Charles Torre. They're the geeks who build the site, right, and keep it maintained and add features to it. We just went through a fairly decent redesign where we added tagging and added podcasting and added screencasting and some other things. But it seems like every 6 months they'll sit down and do a major design like that, and then in between they'll add a feature here or there, or they'll fix a bug or something like that.
And that's for content, just more content, anything new, getting, more transparency, more cool demos.
Yeah. In fact, right now you're getting to watch live blogging. They're sending me links. So let me. You might want to even. Come on over here and watch me blog, because you get to see the Scobleizer in action.
This is like the special features of a DVD. The making of it.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's not signed in.
So how do you manage your tasks during the day? That's a good one, huh?
It's interactive. I mean, here I got the vice president of Wagner Edstrom going. I have memorandum going. I have a news aggregator going somewhere. I have, video going on here. And this is how we keep in touch with what's going on at Microsoft, because it's such a big company. I mean, in a year and a half, I carry around a camera and every day and go and interview somebody else, or 2 people or 3 people in a day. And I've probably in a year and a half gotten to more than 500 people. How many people work here now? 60,000.
It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
I've only been to a small fraction of the thing that is Microsoft, and
you have a setup like this at home where you're...
No, I have...
Well, I mean...
I usually watch one what do you call it? One computer at home, but I'm watching the news aggregators, and I'll watch videos at home. And
what equipment do you use? Like, okay, you got, let's say, hypothetically, you have one scheduled with Charles...
For my night and evening blog, or my...
No, the Channel 9 video. Like, what equipment do you like? Well, how do you create one?
We use $700 cameras.
Mm-hmm.
They're, in fact, they're probably $600 now. They keep going down every month in cost. They're 3 CCD mini DV cameras. There's a reason... you're shooting on digital, right?
I'm using a Sony DSC M1.
Yeah,
those
but
it's recording
to a hard drive.
Yeah, no, a 512 meg memory card.
Okay, it's recording a memory card, and then you have to dump it over. I was playing with some of those cameras, but I like tapes.
Those cameras have better zoom capability,
well,
too.
That too, and it has better image quality. But I like tapes because it's 4 gigabytes on a tape.
Sure.
And it's backed up.
Sure.
And I can take it off-site.
Right.
I can donate it to the museum or whatnot, and I can take it over to studios and edit it, and and I can hand it to you and say, here, you go. And
the nice part is there's a lot of options. The key is just get it recorded.
Yeah.
Once you have it recorded, then you work with it to get it into...
So anyway, we're just using Panasonic 3-chip cameras. They're nice cameras. Do
you use a tripod or handheld the whole thing? So if you were
here's what I do. I put it... a lot of people ask me why my videos are shaky. And I always shoot... Ow! I almost swore on camera there. I always shoot with holding it like this, right? Because the bulk of the tripod will keep from shaking too much, but you still get some camera shake in there. The reason I'm doing handheld most of the time is because I want to be close to you. You know, so
Yeah.
you're even too far. You're even farther than I usually get.
Yeah.
So I usually, do the interviews this close.
Right.
A foot and a half to 3 feet away. There's a reason for that. I'm not using any professional equipment.
Right.
I use the microphone on the camera. I use the lights that are in the room. I don't use professional lighting. I don't use any professional makeup. And I want a rough. I want it to feel like we're having a conversation. And
I'm
usually
using a
people are-
monopod, but it's very similar to that.
Yeah, and you can set it down and stuff like that. But,
So if you were going to record someone down the hall, like show me, like let's say you had a Channel 9 interview scheduled from someone,
yeah.
like how do you actually do it?
You want to go down?
Yeah. I just want to see what it looks like behind the scenes.
Let's go to Charles. You might shut that off because it's about a 1 minute.
Okay,
Charles, you
so
ready?
we're down the hall.
So here we are in Charles Torre's office. So we're just showing how we do it. First of all, I got to turn on the lights.
Yes.
Charles likes to live in the dark.
Dark is good.
Dark is good. So, well, we know who you are, but
Who are you and why is Robert
Who's doing the interview here?
Yeah.
There's an interviewer there and an interviewer here.
That's a
So
good
that's how-
question.
So what I'm going to do is actually stand back
Okay.
and let you pretend, you're going to interview him, and so we can see what it's like.
Well, you can come up here. Come
Yeah, I
close.
just want to be able
The
to.
trick with these cameras is stay close, because that gives intimacy
Right.
and it also helps the microphone pick it up.
Right.
So,
So who are you, man?
I don't know.
So anyway, I'm not
I
sure
abuse
who I am.
Coca-Cola.
Any other questions?
So what are you doing, man?
I'm actually just preparing the Channel 9 report, getting some data for it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, we do have to report
Very
to our
interesting
bosses
data.
that we actually do real work around here and
Yep.
have some traffic and stuff
Yep.
like that. What do you do here,
I
other than report? You play a key role on Channel 9.
Well, yeah, I work on content strategy for Channel 9, and I used to write a lot of code for Channel 9. And I'm
Yeah.
starting to move away from writing code for Channel 9 to thinking of new content,
Yeah.
making,
Like going deep.
going deep. It's one. I mean, one of the ideas that I'm thinking about is the notion of channels on Channel 9.
Yeah.
So we can have various channels that host different types of shows.
Like Channel 9.1?
You got it. Well, Channel 9 with
We'll have a
sub-channels.
subcarrier frequency or something.
got
We'll have a
So-
channel within the channel or something.
Yeah. So it'll be easier for people to find things like they're interested in Windows. Like you just click on the Windows channel and watch Going Deep, watch cool new things in Vista, tips and tricks, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that's
Now, Ken,
really
come
what
over
we're
here,
doing.
'cause-
What about a bloopers channel?
Because I want to show you some
Bloopers channel.
I want to show you some tricks with these cameras.
So
Okay.
yeah, what
Alright.
are you guys doing?
He's filming a video of me filming Channel 9
You know
videos.
the
so-
special features of a DVD,
Yeah.
like the making of.
One thing about these viewfinders is they don't show you the entire picture. So there's actually 10% of the picture that lives outside the viewfinder.
I see.
So if you're,
A little cushion, you don't want to.
what you want to do is play it very aggressively toward the edge of the frame. So come here. 'Cause you got to see this. So this is framed very well, even though you think his head's cut off. On the streaming server, the head will actually show up.
That's good to know.
This is a common mistake beginners make on cameras, is to center the eyes.
Right.
And see how he looks like he's falling off the frame?
Right.
That should make you feel uncomfortable. You should always be looking to make sure that the eyes are about 1/3 of the way down the frame, not centered.
Mm-hmm.
And likewise, look that way for a second. Likewise, if you're filming him talking to somebody
Yeah.
or looking into the screen, you want him to look into the screen. You don't want his head to be centered. See how now he's looking out of the frame? So here he's looking into the frame. So that's some framing technique
Right.
that's real important.
Very important. I use that too now.
Yeah.
I always keep that in mind when I do mine.
The other thing is, whenever you walk into a room, you should have an innate sense of where the lights are.
Yeah.
And the brightest lights should be behind you.
Sometimes I have them close the window because then it makes actually.
Well, the trick is to step. Always make sure that the brightest thing is behind you. Now, today it's one of these famous Seattle
Yeah.
weather days.
Yeah.
Right.
and,
Yeah. No sunshine. But
This actually doesn't hurt.
but if the sun was glaring, it would actually cause the lighting to change as you move the camera.
well,
on.
that and he would be black.
This is. Are you going to show? Is this going to be something that you show to people around the companies?
Yeah,
You want to
yeah,
take
yeah.
videos?
Well, we were thinking to put it on Channel 9.
Oh, that too.
Well, we've been on Channel 9, but I think it would be really useful.
Oh, well, that's the
for-
idea because, like, I was thinking, people that might build on a new channel.
Actually, you know what? I like this idea. We should do this in our normal interviews. We have 2 cameras, one guy filming Scoble and going back and forth. And
We have the special features link.
Yeah.
They have a bloopers. You have deleted scenes.
Yeah, see,
absolutely.
But see, why do 2 guys on one interview? You could actually have twice as much video. See?
Good point. So
This is a Channel 9 thing. It's about quick and cheap and, get in, get out. I mean, Jenny Lamb said, man, thank you so much, because she was really freaked out. A lot of people are not used to being on camera all the time.
Yeah.
And one of the tricks is we're using cheap cameras that sort of lower the fear and get you back into a conversation.
It's not like there's a big lighting prop and a bunch of audio people and
exactly. I mean, I
like
spoke,
the studio.
I spoke last week at a conference, and they made me put makeup on, and they had lights, and they had, they made you wait for 20 minutes in this green room, and it gets you freaked out mentally. And so then you're not conversational, you're not relaxed, and you're trying to act. I'm starting to do it right now.
You know what's an
starting to act
interesting
to the camera.
See, when I'm listening to you, I'm standing pretty still, but I watch you, and while you're standing there, you don't stand still. You have a way of kind of being like, and so and then you're holding the tripod, it's moving. I mean, one comment I saw on a Channel 9 video saying, oh, the presenter was very professional for being able to keep the demo going while the earthquake was occurring in his office.
It's and this is a problem, right? People are used to seeing professional video done by CNN or ABC or something like that. I watched ESPN shoot the race car team that you're going to see on Channel 9 pretty soon. They had 7 people running the camera. They had a lighting guy, a mic guy, a video camera guy, an audio guy, a cable guy, a guy to aim the antenna at the microwave.
If you had all that, you couldn't scale. Meaning you couldn't do 2 a day or 3 a day or a couple a week.
And also imagine coming into somebody's office with 5 people. It would just freak them out.
Totally.
And when you see my camera shake, it's because I'm paying attention to you.
Right.
I'm not, and I'm not paying ultimate attention to the camera. And so I'm talking and it's shaking a little bit. That's going to be the artifact of doing this kind of camera work.
And one comment I got from one of the things you did with me is, oh, this isn't the kind of video that I would send forward to a manager.
Yeah.
But then the key is it's not as much marketing as it is just, hey,
right.
You're bringing the audience into the office.
Exactly.
Isn't that how you
and we're having a conversation. And
one of the things that would be nice to see more of, especially when you do your Building 41 show, is just walk into people's offices, particularly devs, and just start talking to them. Typically, when you walk into someone's office with a camera, they're not going to tell you to get out. If they do, they will. I mean, but rather, let's try to get a little more randomness.
Yeah.
Walk into a dev's office and be like, hey, what are you working on? Blah, blah, blah.
Most of the time, you have something scheduled and at least know they're preparing a demo.
Yeah,
if they're preparing a demo, I understand.
41, though, don't do it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way that Scoble does it.
Right.
That doesn't have to be the way that everyone else does it.
That's true. Yeah.
And it depends on who you're talking to.
It also depends on the relationships you have and how closely you work. You can just say, hey, can I turn on the camera? You're saying something interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Channel 9 came out of those lunchtime conversations we used to have with interesting devs like you, who would come over and see us for lunch, and we'd be like talking about some amazing technology, and we're like,
or seeing a cool demo.
why don't we film that, and put it out, and no editing, the reason this stuff works is it's raw, it's real, and there's no there's as little manufacturedness as possible to it. Yeah, we're manufacturing it a little bit by scheduling it, right? And by interviewing, you got to keep it entertaining a little bit. That's a little bit of a manufactured, but it's not like having a 5-crew video.
But there are certain things. There are certain contexts where having multiple cameras is very useful. Like I did this one video on Channel 9 that will never be seen by the outside world, where we had 7 or 8 people sitting around a table discussing a topic that was very controversial. Yeah. We needed to have 3 camera people. Yeah. It had to happen. Yeah. Because when someone talks, someone else responds. So it's hard to do the Channel 9 thing in large groups. Yeah. So it would be nice to have multiple cameras.
No, we learned that when we shot the tablet PC team.
Precisely.
If there's a table between us, I just can't shoot. I would need a professional camera crew to come in. I mean, the tablet PC team, you can understand most of what's going on. So it mostly worked, but it's not Channel 9. Channel 9 to me is about going into a dev's office and meeting them. You know.
Yeah.
So how many
That's the
visits
way.
do you think we got in October?
Oh God,
We did it. We almost matched
2
PDC month.
Another 2.8
Yeah,
million
another
a month.
2.7.
It's growing, right? And what's the reaction internally? What do executives
They
think?
love it.
Yeah.
They love it when they see our numbers. And another number that's very interesting that has been increasing steadily, especially this month, is time spent per visit.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
very, very important statistic.
Yeah.
People are spending time on Channel 9.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I mean,
keep it up, Niners.
The only downside I've heard is people not having enough time to see all the content they would like
they're
to
still
see.
catching up to what we did last month. You know,
Right.
I put 50 videos up last month.
Yeah.
And that's,
Outrageous.
I think what's
That was
getting more
outrageous.
popular is mobile devices that have video, and then they're transferring the WMV onto their device, and then they take it with them when they're
we
at the
won't talk
airport.
about with iPods in your pocket.
Well, I use Sony PSP, but then there's a lot. You can use the Windows Media portable devices.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. Just something that plays video on your handheld.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else you want to know?
Well, I almost tripped over this. What is this? It's like a Channel 9
It's a Channel 9
beanbag.
beanbag.
It's very,
Yeah, PDC.
Yeah.
Right.
That was in the Channel 9 section of the PDC, the lounge. So, and we gave them away to people too. So there's only a few left.
But I
One
think
thing I do, my style is to get close.
Right.
And I noticed, yeah, that's better. Because closeness gives you intimacy,
Right.
and it makes these microphones work better.
Got
And
it.
a lot of beginners are very scared, like other people I've handed cameras to,
Yeah.
they're scared of getting close. They don't,
Yeah.
people don't like getting close, you know.
True.
And,
Yeah,
But sometimes it's good to be
Robert
able to see
Kapka,
hand
a
movements.
famous photographer I studied.
Right?
Yeah.
That was funny.
now you're like a celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a boom mic coming down, kind of, when you're
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
One of the famous photographers I studied in college said, if your photography isn't good enough, you're not close enough. You know?
Cool.
So the trick is to get close, but not
So that's the
really
motto,
close,
Channel 9,
you know?
get closer.
Get close. Well, it's
Second
intimacy,
tag.
right?
Channel 9.
Because you're.
Well, that's a different channel. Channel 9. Probably we were deciding right now whether or not it's gonna be pay or not pay.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the whole age issue, but
Well, it's like these special features, deleted scenes, bloopers,
You got it.
the director's cut of a
Director's
Channel
cut.
9 video. That would
I
be
like
good.
that director's cut. Well, the thing is, we
Well, I gotta
always
go do
director's
it.
cut.
So-
Cool, guys.
Let's go.
All right.
Because I gotta go and do
Thanks,
some
Charles.
blogging. So,
Vlogging.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, thank you, man.
Bye.
Thank you for.
hello again.
All right, back in the
Up here,
Scoble
see, I've got
Fortress
a,
here.
Photos area up
So,
here. And what this is,
now that you
we
have a
talked
recording-
earlier about
What do you do exactly?
Yeah. Well, I take the tape out and put it in my other camera.
Label
Actually,
it?
I have a VCR that I have to hook up. I just got a new VCR, so.
Same for me. I take the memory card out, put it in a USB 2.0 port,
Yeah.
just transfer it to WMV. But not as formal.
Yeah. And then I open up Movie Maker.
So one thing I noticed early on when you did interviews is you said look at the interviewer, not the camera.
Right.
What
And
was-
that's a common thing because I have to really remind people. Some of the viewers get bugged by it. If you look, if somebody you're interviewing looks at the camera, it looks like you're pitching the camera, and it looks like you're selling something. And if I'm looking at you, I forget the camera's there, and we have a conversation.
That's what I
And
notice
that's
a lot.
really
They
key.
just forget the cameras there and they start chatting with you or
Yeah.
doing demos and they just...
Yeah, and that's real key, and that's sort of how I set the tone for the interview too. It's like, hey, just relax, talk to me. You know, stop thinking about that little device that's capturing images and going out to 200,000 people. You know, because if you start thinking about that, you freak out. You start acting. I'm doing it right now. I'm thinking about the camera and I'm acting. You know.
Yeah.
But if I forget the camera's there and I just
Right.
talk to you,
Right.
then we find out something interesting. You know.
So once you get the WMV file, then do you have like a publishing tool and then you just kind of use it
Oh,
as a
well,
video
there's a whole
blog?
bunch of tools. Here at Microsoft, it's a little bit different. I'll encode it at 500 kilobits per second. So I use Movie Maker.
That's what I use.
A free tool.
That's what I use, yeah.
You don't need to use anything else for this kind of video.
Right.
Now, if you wanted to do lots of editing and titles and
Like-
really high quality video, because this video is pretty crappy, to
No.
tell you the truth.
Most Channel 9 videos, they don't get edited. Like the 4 or 5 I've done so far, I haven't edited one thing.
No,
I
because
just-
it's
just
more
as is.
believable if it's
Yeah.
all the way through. You
Now
know?
there are cases where you had to, right? Something that wasn't ready to be mentioned, or a few,
Yeah.
very rare.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes, you know, yeah, the person being interviewed can say, "Can you pull that out?" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, Yeah, I don't do any editing. That's sort of one thing of my style, and it evolved because I'm lazy. But people, I notice when I talk to people about the videos, they say, you know, I believed it, you know, or I found it interesting. I was drawn into the conversation, and it was different than, you know, what I see on MTV or see on, you know, even Charlie Rose. You know, but even Charlie Rose, right? He does straight unedited conversations. He's just doing 2 cameras with a professional set.
Well, I think people have grown to know you almost like a radio personality. I mean, when I've seen comments where it's not you being the interviewer behind the camera, they miss your laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like
Actually,
the only one
Jenny,
that doesn't like your laugh.
I was talking to Jenny.
You make people feel like...
I was interviewing Jenny Lamb today, and I was saying, I hate my laugh. And she said, no, I love it because it relaxed me during the interview. And I think that is why, almost why I do it in an unconscious way, because I'm just trying to get as much conversation out of it and just sort of relax, and hey, it's fun. You know? And this is fun work we do here at Microsoft, and why not have fun? And you know,
right?
Why always be sour and dull? You know, I can be like Walter Cronkite. This is the way it is.
So you use nitrous oxide to pass around to anyone doing interviews.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have a busy day here.
Hey there, this is Robert.